Hello, welcome to my channel. Focus on skills. Nonverbal communication. The term nonverbal communication was coined in the 20th century. It includes the communication that does not involve words. It constitutes body movements, gestures, and facial expressions. Most of you fail to realize that a great deal of your communication is in nonverbal form as opposed to the oral form. In oral communication, what you say is less important than how you say it. You must understand the impact of your nonverbal communication. It affects verbal communication in that it can complement, reinforce, substitute, or contradict messages. The power of nonverbal cues. In face-to-face communication, there is an immediate feedback. You use silence, signs, symbols, touch, facial expressions, body movements along with your words, which help better to convey your messages. These expressions and gestures are called nonverbal cues. They are messages that do not include spoken words. They are virtually limitless. Your nonverbal cues, the way you listen, look, move and react, how fast or how loud you talk, how much eye contact you make, send strong messages to the person you're communicating with, whether you care, if you're being truthful, and how well you're listening. When your nonverbal cues match up with the words you're saying, they increase trust, clarity, and rapport. When they don't, they can generate tension, mistrust, and confusion. Different types of nonverbal communication. Vocalics or paralanguage refers to the vocalized but nonverbal parts of a message, such as pitch, tempo, volume, inflection, and pauses which express emotion and attitude without using words. Voice is not just what you say, it's how you say it. When you speak, other people read your voice, in addition to listening to your words. Nuances of the voice and facial expressions speak a lot. They include a diverse range of signals that go beyond spoken language. Haptics or tactile refers to touch in nonverbal communication. It is necessary for human social development. It can be welcoming, threatening, or persuasive. There are several types of touch: functional professional, social polite, friendship warmth, and love intimacy. At the love intimacy level, touch is more personal and is typically only exchanged between best friends, close family members, and romantic partners. A handshake, a pat on the arm or shoulder are examples of social polite touching. At the friendship warmth level, touch is more ambiguous than at the social polite level. Touching faces, holding hands, and frontal embraces are examples of touch at this level. Touch interactions communicate closeness, liking, care, and concern. If used properly, touch can create a more direct message than dozens of words. Its meaning is highly dependent on the context of the situation, the relationship between communicators, and the manner of touch. Touching hands or heads expresses positive emotions. A pat can convey much more than words. Unwanted touch can create a negative atmosphere and they lose trust in their friends. Negative touch can be uncomfortable for both. Proxemics is the use of space as a form of communication and includes how far or near you position yourself from others. Touching or invading the personal space of another can be a serious error. Space may be divided into four main categories: intimate, social, personal, and public space. The perception and use of space varies significantly across cultures and different settings within cultures. The distance between communicators will depend on sex, status, and social role. The distance you maintain adjusts according to situation, personality, and familiarity. People often refer to their need for personal space. Here the man shows patronage and dominance and the woman withdraws. Nonverbal cues can speak louder than words. They reveal your emotions and attitudes. Even the failure to act is a way of communicating. Your actions are a means of communication, subject to interpretation by others. Speech is silver, but silence is golden. Words are important and certainly do have their place at times, but sometimes it is better to say nothing at all. Silence. You can communicate through silence as it is more expressive and powerful than words. It is not unusual to come across a situation in which nothing can express your response so effectively as silence. Even when you are sitting still and saying nothing, you are still sending messages to the other person. Silence can have a positive or negative influence. These silent messages communicate your feelings and provide space for reflection in communication. It can provide a link between messages or break relationships. It can create tension and uneasiness or create a peaceful situation. They include all unwritten and unspoken messages, both intentional and unintentional. Have you ever experienced the silent treatment from someone? What meanings did you take from that person's silence? Silence can be used tactfully in conversations, such as pause for emphasis. The pause in conversation can signal agreement, disagreement, or discomfort. When you are expecting an answer from your friend, he may say nothing for some time. After a long pause, the conversation resumes on a different topic. It is powerful because that person may be refusing to engage in communication with you. You may use silence to enable the receiver to think about what you are emphasizing and to anticipate what you are going to say. It can be used as a deliberate communication tool to express emotions. It can be used to control the tempo of the conversation, allowing for thoughtful and measured responses that are more likely to lead to constructive outcomes. Very effective talk on the power of nonverbal communication. Next video on nonverbal communication kinesics.